The iPhone 16 Pro is Apple's latest and greatest. It's bigger, unfortunately, comes with a bigger screen and bigger battery. It also comes with Apple Intelligence. Well, not on my unit anyways. Not yet. And it also comes with the new camera control. They refuse to call it a button for some reason, but that's exactly what it is. And in the most Apple way possible, they decided to limit what this can and cannot do. More on that later. Is Apple's new offering worth the price? And more importantly, is it worth your hard-earned money? My name is Kevin Ganitz, and this is the iPhone 16 Pro 30 days later. Something to note about me is that I've been upgrading every single year since the iPhone 11 Pro released. This wasn't planned. I somehow always end up selling my iPhone right before the new one releases for around $800 or more, which means that the new iPhone really only cost me around $200 to upgrade every year. As someone who charges his device every single night to 100% and goes caseless, having a new iPhone without any scratches or dings every single September that also comes with a new manufacturer warranty and a fresh new battery, it's worth it to me. I rarely buy myself stuff, so once a year, a $200 investment to make myself happy, something I like to do. Now, this isn't a full review. This is just like my 30 days later video. Whatever you guys are about to hear next is my experience, my thoughts, my opinions. So don't take anything personal. If there's something you don't agree with, great. That means that we have different use cases and different lifestyles and different ways we use our technology. Awesome. As I mentioned before, I've been upgrading every single year, and the jump from 15 Pro to 16 Pro isn't really that significant. The few new things you get, like the 48 megapixel ultra wide camera, the bigger size, and the new camera control button, are honestly things that wouldn't really make a difference to your average person. If anything, all three of those things kind of make the device a little bit worse. For one, you get the 48 megapixel ultra wide camera, but in my testing, it doesn't really equal all that much better performance. Some people say in their reviews that it actually makes nighttime images more noisy because more megapixels in the same exact camera sensor size, or maybe not the same exact size, but a really tiny little square behind that glass, it doesn't really equal better performance. Yeah, in daylight, in perfect lighting conditions, you might be able to pixel peep a little bit better, but it feels like they just did this just to have something they could throw on a spec sheet to make it more enticing. Honestly, going from the 15 Pro to the 16 Pro, I can't really notice any benefit of the ultra wide camera, and I've taken quite a few photos in RAW. Now, I don't have the 15 Pro anymore because I sold it. I don't see any better results from this new sensor. I'm pretty sure it's either about the same or worse, which is a bummer. It's not something you want to hear. The phone being bigger is also another con for me because I'm the kind of person that likes small phones. I've recently had an iPhone 13 mini that I bought for $200. I love the size and everything with it, but the battery life was pretty bad on it. The slowing down, few issues I was having with it. Also getting a great trade-in deal, which basically gave me almost triple the money I paid for my iPhone 13 mini. Yeah, I took a chance and traded it in towards the Pixel 9, which you guys probably seen if you guys are viewers of my channel. If they ever make a new iPhone the same size as the 12 mini and the 13 mini, but an updated chip and either the same cameras or maybe even a little bit more upgraded cameras, I would immediately jump ship to that because that size is freaking awesome. And if it wasn't for the bad battery life and a few slowdown issues I was having, I would probably still be on that. You would think that the phone getting bigger would equal to better battery life. I haven't found that in my testing yet. I've had awesome days where I've gotten 6 hours plus of screen on time. I'll have days where I'll have 4 hours of screen on time and need to plug into a charger. And I'm not sure what the causes of that are. I'm not on any beta updates. I'm on 18.0.1, which supposedly helped battery life, but I'm not seeing it all that much. And then we come down to the last major new feature of the iPhone, camera control. It's such a weird feeling having that on the phone. It's freaking awesome for double tapping to launch the camera. Something I've been doing on Android for years before switching to iPhone. The position of the button makes it very awkward to use. Instead of having your hand be right at the edge where it would be like on an Xperia device, for example, or on an actual camera, the button is more towards the middle of the phone if you're holding it sideways, or more up if you're holding it upright. It's just a really bad spot. I've tried forcing myself to use it, honestly. It's just I'd rather use the on-screen controls. Taking a picture with this button, you shake your whole hand, you shake the phone. The amount of pressure required to push the button makes the phone jitter in your hand, causing shots to come out blurry. I had to go a lot of times into the live photo edit and switch that little option where it says make this your key photo. I had to do that a few times because by the time I pushed the button, my hand shook a little bit too much. The picture comes out distorted or blurry or whatever you want to call it. That rarely happens when touching the screen, if at all. You could say that's just something that I might not be used to, but I had an Xperia Z1 Compact and I never had an issue pushing that button to take a picture. There's just something about the way Sony implements the camera shutter button on their phones that's just chef's kiss compared to the iPhone's really awkward and strange way that they have things set up. By the way, on the Xperia device, pushing in the shutter button a little bit would focus, and then pushing it all the way down would take the photo. Not like on my iPhone 16 Pro, a feature that's promised to come soon, but I've had the phone for 30 days now and it's still not here. That's really weird. But you know what's more weird? Not being able to do what you want with the button. Sure, Apple lets you choose a camera app that you can launch when pressing the button, and that new feature is coming soon where you push the button and it shows the camera live view of a restaurant and a menu and all that stuff. Sure. I feel like there's a really huge missed opportunity here. Now, if someone has shown a concept like this before, my apologies. I haven't really watched that many videos of the iPhone 16 Pro besides like Marquez and The Verge. I only watched like a handful of videos. So if anybody mentioned this before, this is not me trying to steal their material. This is not me trying to copy anybody. This is just something that I naturally discovered while using my iPhone. Camera control, being able to scroll with it, should have been used system-wide. Allow me to explain. Imagine you're watching a YouTube video and you don't want to touch the screen to fast forward or rewind. Touching the screen and then trying to seek with your finger what you're trying to fast forward or rewind to. Imagine if you could just swipe that camera control button. It's in the perfect spot when watching media. That would be really freaking awesome. That would be like way more useful than what it does now. I'm sure there's a billion examples people could come up with as a gesture slider, as like a trackpad sort of thing. There's so much potential to be had here, and we're limited to using it in the most awkward way possible. Taking a photo with your finger stretched all the way across the screen. I wonder how many important photos weren't taken correctly because someone tried to use the button to take the photo and it messed up a precious moment that they can't replicate. That must suck. In the back of your mind, you're thinking, wow, if I just touched that on-screen button like I've been doing for the past 15 iPhones, I would have gotten this moment perfectly without having blurry or distortion or whatever. Apple does these really weird decisions when it comes to certain things. Later down the line, sometimes they fix it or sometimes they just get rid of it. A few examples being that really weird keyboard mechanism. I think it was called butterfly keyboard, where all the buttons were getting stuck and people couldn't type fast enough, so they reverted back to the old keyboard style. Or something like the Magic Bar, which is something I had on one of my MacBook Pros, and I never used it except for adjusting the volume. It was really bad. A lot of times I would accidentally touch it. It would like go back a page or it would do something unintended, and you would just sit there thinking, what just happened? And then they got rid of the touch bar. My new MacBook Pro does not have a touch bar, and it's perfect. It has an HDMI, which is something they removed for no reason. It has an SD card slot, which is something they removed for no reason. It doesn't have a touch bar, which is something they added for no reason. Apple has these weird decisions that go into their products sometimes. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next iPhone, or maybe not the very next iPhone, but maybe the iPhone 18, either moved it somewhere way down or just got rid of it completely, because it's really awkward and it does not make your experience better. One of the examples is using the back camera and taking a selfie. Instead of pushing the volume buttons, it's kind of the natural way you want to hold the iPhone. It actually works well like that. But for everything else, something I rarely use. I have to like remind myself that it's there, and then when I do remember it's there, it's really not even worth pressing sometimes. For video, it doesn't matter. I use it a lot for video. I could cut out the first few frames of the video and be on my way in the editor. Photos are a different story. That's kind of what it was intended for. In my opinion, if you have an iPhone 14 or 15, I wouldn't waste my time or money getting the iPhone 16 Pro. If you guys are getting it for free through an upgrade plan or one of those carrier deals, maybe you bought a bad color before and you're sick of looking at your phone, or maybe it's full of scratches and the battery went bad. If you're going for the iPhone 16 Pro for one of those reasons, sure, why not? Last year I got the black and I regretted my decision because I always had a black phone for the longest time. So this year I got the silver and I really like the way this looks. It's really, really awesome looking. Do I regret purchasing this phone? No. I love the 120 Hz screen. I love the always on display, something that I loved on Android. I was really happy when Apple finally brought it over. The new 120 frames per second video recording in 4K. I just shot a full vlog of us in Disney World in Orlando, Florida. If you guys want to see a real camera example, this was a real vlog that I shot on it. Besides the 120 frames per second slow motion 4K video, the iPhone 15 Pro would probably be able to get 99% of the same footage that I shot on the 16 Pro. If you guys are on a 13 Pro or older, yeah, it's about time you guys upgrade and you're not going to be disappointed with the 16 Pro. But as someone who's come from the 15 and the 14, it feels like they did a few things that made it go backwards then forwards. Battery not lasting as much as it should, camera controls being really awkward, and the 48 megapixel ultra wide are all things that feel like they hinder your experience a little bit more than fix it or be an upgrade. If the phone stood the same size as last year and had a better battery, I would say that would be a huge pro and a huge reason to upgrade. Being that the phone got bigger and the battery got bigger and it's about the same or worse than the 15 Pro, I'd say the bigger size is a con. So yeah, that's my iPhone 30 days later video. If you guys want a full review, if you guys want me to go in depth with certain things, let me know in the comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the iPhone 16 Pro. Did you guys get one? Are you enjoying it? Do you hate it? Leave all your guys' comments below. I'll be sure to read every single one. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out, stay safe. God bless.